Hello and welcome back to Closed Circuit Sports. I'm Drew Goldman. This is a little stale by now, but we got to go back and cover it because these are races that we finished. Foreshadow. This was the afternoon sessions of round 1 of the Indy Karting Challenge in the LO206 senior heavy class. Pulling out on track now for the heat race. In the IKC, the heat race, like the qualifying session and the practice sessions, is timed 5 minutes plus 2 laps. The practice sessions are just 5 minutes. And they wave the checkered and then they bring you in. Qualifying is also 5 minutes, excuse me. Qualifying is also just 5 minutes. The heat race is 5 minutes, and then when the clock expires and the leader crosses the line, they put up the 2 sticks. And they go 2 laps to go, 2 laps to go. And then the next time they come around, they throw the white. And the next time around, they throw checkers. And then everybody comes in. With this being round 1, and us having finished the kart the night before, I think it goes without saying that this is the stock setup on an RY30 that we slapped a 206 on. Now that I know as much as I know about kart setup, I understand that this was a losing proposition. Also, I was driving tentative. Too tentative. I was lifting even before the crest. Getting oversteer. Scrubbing speed instead of sliding across the track. Might be geared a little bit high. And these are all things that I'm just picking up in the first lap. I have to console myself with this performance somehow. That's how I'm gonna do it. All the progress that I've made just since round 1. Round 4, next weekend. The season is happening quickly. There are only 12 rounds in the IKC season. 2 of those are double headers. There will be a round on Saturday and a round on Sunday. See how choppy my steering is, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm entering corners late because I don't know how much grip the kart actually has. I'm trying to keep it down into the pavement, but it keeps wanting to go like up and back the balance that the kart does at this point in time. All my weight feels like it's on the back wheels. I have right between no grip and too much grip. And it, I hate how hard it is to explain because everyone knows what slip angle is. If you're a NASCAR fan, you know what slip angle is. I don't mean that as a derogative, I just mean that those are the most casual of casual racing fans. I next to maybe drag racing fans. I don't know. Anyway. If you understand slip angle, you really do already have an understanding of optimal entry angle and optimal entry speed and how to keep a minimum speed up, and that you want to scrub off as little speed as possible through the tires. But with the way that I have the front end of this kart set up at the moment, I think I have way too much outward pressure, I guess you could say, down and out force on the tires in the front. I can't get them under me, as a racing driver would say. At this point, we're carrying better speed down into the south hairpin, in and out of Daytona. We're hitting the rev limiter plenty early. We're hitting a good braking point there, dipping it in pretty well. Fighting the bump there the right way. Like, we're doing really well with the setup we have, and that's actually pretty encouraging. That slide lost us a ton of revs and a ton of speed, and it didn't need to. We're getting better at doing the throttle and brake at the same time, although that is only a 4-stroke technique as far as I'm aware. I had not heard of that technique being successful in modern karting until I found myself in this class. That was a better entry. Holding into the crest. Definitely blew that entry though. We overcooked the entry into the center hairpin. There's the south hairpin. Keep it flat through Daytona. If this kart had a KA on it, it might be naturally quick for that class. I just don't know whether I'm getting fit yet. I doubt it. given my current experience in LO206 and recognizing the depth of a class even so entry level as LO206, I think KA would be a hell of a challenge. What I would love to do and it's funny that I should even be mentioning this idea, given how this past weekend went at the Anderson Mayor's Cup Grand Prix in Sierra. The first Sierra event was a learning experience. I learned a lot, but I learned it hard. At this point in the day, I was realizing what a task it is to run both classes, both light and medium. But I was also pretty confident that I was driving the kart as hard as I could. I was glad that I hadn't finished last. I was glad that I hadn't gotten lapped. I was glad that I hadn't broken anything and that I had kept it on the limit. This is a picture my sister took of me as I was getting ready for the scales there. It was nice of her to come out and see me.
They won both the free cars. The same family won both the free cars.
That's funny. And almost unfortunate. Alright, I'm bombing it out. I'm bombing it out.
That was my chief, Steven, just telling me a story about a raffle going to the right people for the right reasons. The idea that I shouldn't even mention, but that I'm definitely going to mention because Steven just gave me a really good offer on a KA, is that if I really wanted to get faster, I would run a second kart. Hear me out. This chassis is designed for two-stroke. That's KA 100, and the junior shifter, the KZ80, the Motori 7, 80cc, 6-speed, paddle shifted. Ooh boy, love the idea of that little direct drive 80cc two-stroke. That thing just sounds phenomenal when they rev it. And I really like the full senior shifters, but if I'm intimidated by the idea of KA, KZ 125 is a totally different proposition. That is some don't get lapped twice type mess. That's where the killers play. KA is pretty cutthroat. 206 is so close that it's cutthroat. The margins are so fine. The front pack is always so large that breaking into the front, as opposed to just finding yourself among the pack truly, because it's I don't want to say it's easy to get on pace with the pack, because it's not. But once you're on pace with the pack, it's very, very hard to get to the front. Because the margins are just so fine. Quite a lot like it was at K1. Since I've pulled up here, everybody has been talking all kinds of smack about K1, and I understand it because I didn't understand anything about chassis flex or chassis roll, because all I had was the sim in K1, and K1's chassis have 0 roll and 0 flex. They're so heavy and so sturdy because they need to be able to survive all the crashes that they get put through. Stretching my forearm at this point. I think I'm cramping. There you go. I was driving the piss out of this car, excuse me. I was driving way over the grip limit of the cart because I was trying to find the optimal slip angle. But with this setup and this amount of power, there simply wasn't one. We had somebody off just there. We scooted on past. We'll see if he scoots back on through as he gets back up to speed, or whether he has damage and goes to the pits. All the different setup terms that used to be, what's the word? Witchcraft to me in the simulator finally have meaning. faster. Camber. Toe. That's the front end. Axle stiffness. Rear hub spacers. Front hub spacers, damn it. Gear ratio, there he goes. And all the terminology that goes with gear ratios from the clutch driver, which is also known as the front sprocket, the rear sprocket, which is the gear, as some would call it. Finally know my way around the motor in terms of at least mounting it, unmounting it, installing and uninstalling the chain, and of course the gears. I can remove and replace the clutch at this point, but I know I need to learn how to rebuild it and clean it. I think that's part of what did me in at Sierra. I've replaced the muffler at this point on my motor. I have replaced the air intake on my motor. I have installed the rain cover and removed the rain cover for the air filter. I've pretty much got it. Like, I rebuilt half of the front end this past weekend. Steven did the other half because I wouldn't have been able to do it in time. And I really appreciated him jumping in and helping me get it done. But man, the front end is still a lot to deal with. Big snap there. I'm able to spot the mistakes. I'm able to feel the mistakes. I know when they happen where I'm like, nope, that wasn't right. But I'm not able to avoid them yet. I'm still feeling out the cart at this point and trying to feel what it's even telling me. Because at this point in the day, this far into the final, my biggest complaint was power. I was like, no, it's got plenty of grip. I don't know what the deal is. Like, these other guys seem to have optimal slide. And when I was talking to Levi after the fact, that's exactly what it is. They set the cart up to be free. Think NASCAR. And this thing is set up, think IndyCar, Formula One. So the front doesn't want to slide at all. So when it starts to give you oversteer, the rear is ready to, which is why it felt like it was so totally on the limit of spinning all day. And why I'm so proud of myself for having kept it as straight as we have. All the way around this track, all the way up until the point where our GoPro freaking overheated and turned itself off. So shoot, we finish the final in 7th. And yeah, my Fitbit keeps guessing field hockey, which is funny. But regardless, see you back for round 2. It's going to go better than this one. Peace.